Hello, Peter.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
I'm great. I'm talking to Peter Asher. I mean, it's a great honor.
Oh, thank you. Don't be silly, but yeah, thank you very much.
You're playing in Minnesota tonight?
Yes, Minneapolis, the Dakota Jazz Club. We played last night and tonight. It was great. It's a good place. It's a good place.
Oh, superb. And who do you have playing with you?
A great bunch of musicians. We've got a 5-piece band.
Oh, nice. And you're coming to Boston May 18th, which is this Sunday.
It is indeed this Sunday. It's a matinee too. It's an afternoon show. But we haven't played Boston for a while, so I'm looking forward to it.
2 p.m. Now, do you do a lot of matinees?
Surprisingly, yes. I mean, they always seem to, sometimes people are surprised when we suggest putting one in, but they usually work, Maybe because maybe the average age of my audience is all retired, so they don't care if it's a work day or not, That could be it.
Well, I'm 71, and I like the idea of a matinee much better than going out at night.
Well, exactly, and I'm 81, so I do too.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Number one, did you work with Doris Troy at Apple?
I met her, but I didn't work with her, no.
Oh, she was so
nice.
Lovely.
Yes,
oh, yes,
exactly. So I got to know her, but we never actually went in the studio together, I don't think.
Oh, wow. And, when you started, there was the Everly Brothers, Chad and Jeremy, Simon and Garfunkel, Peter and Gordon. The public embraced these duos as they did full bands. What prompted you?
There weren't nearly as many of us. I mean, it was a pretty closed society. The society of duos. But yeah, the public did accept us. It seemed, and they accepted us. They used to confuse us. People used to think Chad and Jeremy and Peter and Gordon were the same people. So
that's funny.
We finally did a show, all of us together. But literally, they did TV stuff that we didn't do, and we had some hits they didn't have. But when they did Batman and Dick Van Dyke Show and all that stuff, people would congratulate us in the elevator the next day. We would just gracefully accept it. We gave up trying to argue. They said, "You were great on Batman." Well, thank you very much. Great.
That is funny.
We never got mistaken for the Everly Brothers. We never got mistaken for the Everly Brothers. I hasten to add, that would have been a true honor.
What you did was pioneer things, though, because in the 70s we had Seals and Crofts, Backdorf and Rodney, English Dan and John Ford Coley, and I think it was inspiration from what you guys did.
Maybe so, yes. It's always amazing when anyone cites me as some kind of influence, I remember having a discussion with David Crosby, and he said, I'd assumed that they like we were copying the Everly Brothers sound, those kind of harmonies that the Byrds did as well. And he went, no. He said, Chris and I were trying to sound like you guys. And I went, really? He said, yeah, everybody wanted to sound English at that point. So, and I said, you actually mean that, we had an effect on the incredible sound and harmonies of the Byrds? And he said, absolutely, yes. And I was honored.
One of my favorite albums is by Sister Kate Taylor.
Oh, great.
And
yes.
I gave it a superb review in allmusic.com. I wrote for that site for 9 years.
Oh, wow. Great. I think I must have read it then. I'm sure I read it. Thank you very much. That's great.
Oh, very well. It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece.
I don't know about that,
but
it's
really
a good
great.
album. A lot of great musicians on it, too.
When I interviewed Kate, she'd never seen the review. And so she really loved it and wrote me, and it was very touching.
Fantastic.
But you had the insight to put some of the Tapestry songs on the album.
Yeah.
And
I like the songs. I like the songs.
Brilliant.
Carol writes them, and I like them.
And now the new duo is James Taylor and Carole King.
Well,
kind
it's not that new. It's not that new, but yes, exactly. Yeah.
I saw Livingston Taylor about a year ago with Carla Bonoff. I love Carla, and I love Livingston.
Carla's fantastic. Yeah, and originally she was going to go out with my friend J.D. Souther, but tragically he died just before the tour left town.
Oh,
So we couldn't
wow.
do that tour. But originally she was going to do a bunch of dates with John David. So I don't know
Well,
if Livingston was kind of a replacement or whether that was a separate tour. I don't really know, but I do know she was about to go out with J.D. like in a week or something, and then he died.
what they did was very intriguing because they don't do an opening and then a headliner. They kind of mix and match. They'll sing together. Yeah. It's a unique, I really loved it, a unique presentation.
Yeah, when I do shows with Jeremy Clyde, we do something like that. We mix it up.
Well, see, the people thought that they couldn't figure out who you guys were, and then you team up with Jeremy.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We proved
What's that like singing? How do you like singing the Chad and Jeremy stuff?
It's great. Usually you don't get an excuse to sing it, but when I'm subbing for Chad, I do, and I love it. There's some great songs there. Yesterday's Gone is really cool. Summer Song. They're all good to sing. And
they're amazing. So
yeah.
What we've been doing since like 1991 is this program called The Demo That Got the Deal. What was the demo that got the deal for Capitol for you guys?
Well, the demo the important demo was the demo that Paul McCartney recorded in my bedroom of World Without Love. But that wasn't actually the demo that got the deal. We got a deal based on our repertoire without World Without Love. We got a deal just because Norman Newell, an A&R guy from EMI, came down to the Pickwick Club and heard us and liked the sound. And then we set off on a song quest. But so there's sort of two different things. But we got the deal based on how we sounded. We got the number one record, no doubt, courtesy of Paul McCartney writing a brilliant song.
It truly was, as was Woman.
Yes, true.
I just think such an incredible melody. And how did this guy write these things at 16?
We don't know. Nobody knows. In the literal sense of the word, God only knows, should he exist. That, but songwriters don't know. You ask them all where the songs come from, they don't know. They just show up in their heads. And the process is beyond our knowledge.
So when you pitched, you must. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, when you were A&R at Apple, you must have been pitched all sorts of stuff.
Yes. Yes, we were, and most of it, unfortunately, turned out to be awful. It was a shame because Apple was priding itself on our willingness to listen to all the hidden masterpieces that we were sure were out there brewing in the general public, and sadly, it turned out that they weren't. We'd get submitted. The example I use is somebody would send in 50 pages of lyrics that they knew John Lennon was waiting and with bated breath to set music to. It turned out not to be true. The lyrics were no good, and John couldn't be bothered. So. It was a nasty brush with the reality of the situation, which was that we invited all kinds of stuff to get sent to us, and we got very little in response that was any good.
Interesting.
But then, we found people other ways. Paul found Mary Hopkin on a TV show. I found James Taylor, and Mal Evans found the Ivies, and who turned his Badfinger, and all that stuff. So we found people. We just didn't find them from them sending in their own crappy tapes, unfortunately.
How did you find James Taylor?
Well, it's a roundabout story. Danny Korchmar, a great guitar player, was in a band called the King Bees, who backed Peter and Gordon on a couple of tours, and he and I became great friends. I was a great admirer of his playing, and he himself. And we remained friends after the Peter and Gordon era was over. And he was subsequently then in a band with his childhood friend, James Taylor. They knew each other from Martha's Vineyard and so on. So then they formed that band, which was called the Flying Machine. And when that band in turn broke up, James decided to go to London, and Cooch gave him my phone number. Said, if you're going to London, you should look up my friend Peter Asher. He's okay. And so James showed up on my doorstep and bearing a demo tape. And when I heard it, I said, look, this is kind of odd, but I've just got a job. I can sign people. would you like a record deal? And he said, yes, please. And that was it.
Amazing.
That's the short version. That's the truncated version.
But that's still a great, great story.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I agree. I tell it all the time.
You're such a great producer, but you were also a manager. So
Yes.
what did you think of the two jobs?
It was fine. The producer and the manager never got into any arguments. It was fine. It was a good plan. It worked.
It certainly
And
did.
they're quite different skill sets, and I was doing them both for quite different reasons. I mean, I wanted to be a producer. That was an active desire on my part. I really wanted to do that job. I thought I could. Whereas management, it was more a question. We didn't know who else we trusted to do it. And I said to James, well, I'll if you like, I'll try. And that was it. And then I went on to manage, Joni and Linda and a whole lot of people.
Did you know Nick Vinay?
No, Linda obviously knew him well. I don't think I ever met him. I certainly didn't know him.
He was a friend of mine at the end of his life because he had produced Harriet Shock. She wrote a big hit for Helen Reddy. And
right.
Harriet's a dear, dear friend, so I would be talking to Nick Vinay on the phone. Such an honor. And he made great records with Harriet at the end of his life.
Yeah, I forgot. I don't know if I've heard those. I probably must have, but I should listen. Harriet Shocked was good.
But what was created back then, what you created, it's amazing because you had the British rock, then you had the California rock, and two distinctly different musical sounds.
I suppose, yes.
But you did such a great job with them.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, some of Linda Ronstadt's work is, Blue Bayou. It's just an amazing version of what Roy did.
Yeah.
So
yes,
I don't want to take up all your time, but with the gig on Sunday, do you do any of the music that you produced, or is it strictly your music?
Oddly enough, I do throw in a Linda song. We do a version of Blue Bayou because we have a great singer in the band, a girl singer called Aubrey, who plays violin. And we do, in tribute to Linda, I throw in one Linda song, but that's it. Other than that, the songs are Everly Brothers songs, Peter and Gordon songs, exactly what you'd expect you get.
Amazing, Peter. We look forward to the show on Sunday. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think that's about it, really. Thank you so much, and maybe I'll see you at the gig. Are you able to come?
I am hoping to be there.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, let us know if we can help organize anything, and love to see you in person. And thank you very much for your
Thank you, sir.
questions. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Peter Asher
has left